The return to our own sovereignty and real fulfillment as it comes to the expression of who we came here to be is only held by the chains stuck to us of all the attachments we have to how we have to show up and how we have to be, and what people are expecting of us and how it works in society, all the stories that we have brought alive and that are alive all around us, that whole entourage of belief systems, they're all like ties and lines all connected to us. But when we look at the trueness of that image, it's actually us holding on to each and every one of those lines, because at some level they provide us certainty. At some level they hurt, they're poisonous, they're sickening, they're unfulfilling, they're all of these things, but we don't know what we are without those. We don't know it. We are more afraid of letting all of that go, which is pretty much the definition of trauma-based mind control. Traumatize a human being so that it will want to hold on to a scarcity position because it has so much fear of really processing and re-entering into the full freedom of wholeness. It has so much fear built up around it called trauma that it will hold on and keep self-harming itself. And so this is a big story, and you're stirring the pot in a very good way when we're starting to look at what are we responsible for, and with that, what are we responsible towards? And we are responsible towards all of it. Our relationships with any external authority, our relationships with any other human being on this earth, our relationship to ourselves and all those beautiful parts of ourselves, that once we understand the awakening of our willingness to start changing things, that then all of a sudden can have us look at the ego also from a light. Well, it's so easy to just trample on the ego and say the ego is bad and it's not doing its job. Well, it's doing its job, but it's doing it out of trauma. But how did we get traumatized? Was that our choice? No, it wasn't our choice. So the awakening of our sovereignty comes part and parcel with the reawakening into what it constitutes to be a naturalized human being. And that's a human being operating on love, on fearlessness, which is the absence of fear, which is the fullness of love. But what sits in the way of us feeling like that and navigating like that, and therefore creating like the masterful creators that we are in this world like that, what sits in the way of that is this trauma-based mind control that wasn't just falling out of the sky, just accidentally. No, it was designed this way. Our education system, our control mechanisms, and our top-down hierarchical systems of the so-called, I call it fantasy government, all of that are structures of a traumatized mindset. And they're all to extract wealth and energy out of our humanity. Because once you understand trauma-based mind control, well, you can control societal frameworks. You can control transgenerational trends in how things are going to be playing out. And so that's called social engineering. It's a study. It's something that is a almost defined science of the dark arts. And the real question is that once we understand that, it's like, well, where do I cut those ties? Where do I say this transgenerational hand down of trauma, I'm going to be, this is where the buck stops. I'm going to draw that line for me. And that takes effort. But mostly what it takes willfulness. It takes a willingness to show up. Once we understand that, we are going to end up on a new path, in a trajectory that will make the illusion of government and society be more clear than it was before. and we will have a newfound fearlessness to walk that path with others. Let's walk this path together, because the whole path to self-sovereignty and freedom is not a path that you walk by yourself. Yeah, you have to walk it on your own because you are your own person. But on the hero's journey, there never is nobody around. On the hero's journey, there always are the sages, the guides, the supporters, the treacherous demons that come up that actually also turn out to be the greatest blessings once we come through the precipice and the threshold that we had to cross.